I remember the moment clearly, even though years have passed, not because it was loud or dramatic, but because of how quiet everything became afterward. Before that night, my world was small. A few wooden homes, a narrow river, the forest line that always looked darker at dusk. I was just a boy then, old enough to work, but young enough to believe that bad things happened somewhere else. My days were simple. I carried water, helped my father with nets and traps, and listened to my mother's stories at night. Sometimes she spoke about gods and warriors, but they felt distant, like myths meant for other people's lives. I never imagined those stories would one day swallow my own.
The fear came slowly. First as rumors carried by travelers who stayed only long enough to warm their hands by our fires. They spoke of bandits moving through the land, men with no banners and no mercy. Villages burned, roads became unsafe, people disappeared. The elders listened, nodded, and said little. We had survived hard winters before. We told ourselves we would survive this too. Hope can be dangerous when it replaces preparation. Looking back, I understand that now.
The night they came, I woke to shouting that didn't sound real at first, like a bad dream breaking apart. Then came the smell of smoke, sharp and heavy, and the sound of wood splitting under metal. My father grabbed me before I fully understood what was happening. His hands were shaking, though he tried to hide it. He told me to run, to follow the tree line, to not look back. I remember his eyes more than his face, wide with fear and something else I didn't understand at the time. I stumbled as I ran, my bare feet slipping in the dirt, and I fell hard behind a broken cart near the edge of the settlement. From there, I watched my world end. Men I had known all my life were dragged into the open and cut down as if they meant nothing. Fire climbed the walls of our homes, turning everything familiar into something monstrous. I saw my mother pulled, screaming into the light, her voice breaking as she called my name. I didn't move. I couldn't. Fear pressed me into the ground, heavy and unforgiving. That moment, more than any other, changed me. Not because of what I saw, but because of what I didn't do. When morning came, it felt wrong. The sun rose like it always had, calm and warm, lighting the ruins without judgment. The bandits were gone. The screams were gone. What remained was silence and smoke and bodies that no longer felt real. I walked through the remains of our home and found my father's knife in the dirt, its handle burned but intact. I took it without thinking. It felt heavier than it should have, as if it carried more than metal. I stayed there longer than I should have. I buried what I could. I said words I didn't believe. When I finally left, I didn't feel like a boy anymore. I felt hollow, like something essential had been taken and replaced with something colder. The anger came later. At first, there was only the question that wouldn't leave me alone. Why them? Why us? And then the answer followed, quiet and cruel, because no one stopped them. I heard about the Vikings by accident. A group of traders stopped near the coast where I had been surviving on scraps and stolen food. They drank and laughed, speaking loudly about warriors from the north who feared nothing, men who sailed into danger and took what they wanted. They spoke of strength, of brotherhood, of violence without apology. I listened from the shadows, my heart pounding. That night, I understood something clearly for the first time since the fire. If the world belonged to monsters, then mercy was weakness. If I wanted justice, I would have to become something I once feared. The journey north nearly killed me. Cold, hunger, exhaustion. Each step felt like punishment for a choice I hadn't fully understood yet. When I finally saw the longships, dark against the gray sea, fear returned, stronger than ever. The men who stood beside them looked carved from stone and scars. They laughed easily,
the kind of laughter that comes from surviving things others don't. I approached them with nothing to offer but anger and desperation. They didn't welcome me. They tested me. They broke me down piece by piece. Pain became routine. Weakness was punished. Silence was expected. I learned to endure without complaint, to bleed without crying out. At night, when my body collapsed from exhaustion, my mind replayed the fire over and over again. It fueled me when nothing else could. Time changed me. My hands grew calloused. My shoulders hardened. The boy who had once dreamed small dreams faded into something sharper, something darker. I learned how to hold a shield in a wall, how to swing an axe without hesitation. I learned that fear never truly disappears. It just learns when to stay quiet. The Vikings didn't speak much about honor the way storytellers do. They spoke about survival, about taking control in a world that respects only strength. They gave me a name after my first real test. I earned it in blood and silence. I didn't celebrate. I didn't smile. I simply accepted it, because names are just another kind of weight.
The raid that changed everything came without warning. We sailed toward a coastal settlement said to be easy prey. As we drew closer, something inside me tightened. I recognized the signs immediately. The markings, the way the camp was laid out. These were the same men, the same bandits who had destroyed my home. Fate has a cruel way of circling back when you least expect it. The attack was chaos, screams, fire, steel clashing against steel. But this time, I wasn't hiding. I moved through the smoke with purpose, my heart pounding not with fear, but with anticipation. I found him near the center of the camp, older now, slower, barking orders that no one fully followed. He didn't recognize me. To him, I was just another warrior in a sea of enemies. I raised my axe and hesitated. In that brief moment, I understood something painful and true. Killing him wouldn't bring my family back. It wouldn't undo the fire or the silence that followed. Revenge wouldn't heal me, but it would end something that had been left unfinished. When it was over, I felt no triumph, no relief, just emptiness. The Vikings celebrated around me, but I stood alone near the shore, staring out at the dark water. I had become what I needed to survive, but survival had taken its price. I was no longer the boy who had once believed the world was fair, and I would never be him again. Now, when the sea is calm and the night is quiet, I still hear that silence from long ago. It reminds me of who I was and what I lost. I joined the Vikings for revenge. I stayed because the path back no longer existed. And this is my story. If you want more immersive POV Viking stories like this, stories of revenge, survival, and transformation, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with anyone who loves dark, cinematic Viking tales. New Viking POV stories are coming, and the saga continues.